Great souls have wills, weak ones have only wishes. When the winds of change blow, some people build walls and others build windmills. Who has all the answers has not been asked all the questions. To lead people, follow them. A great man is hard on himself. A small man is hard on others. Dying embers can still start a fire. Do not worry if others do not understand you. Worry if you do not understand them. Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. To ignore small things is to lose the great. That is why we must observe the smallest things. Happiness is the absence of the striving for happiness. Only when a man will not do some things is he capable of doing great things. It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Better to be a broken piece of jade than an intact piece of pottery. True gold fears not the test of fire. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. The gentleman makes things his servants. The petty man is servant to things. Kings and nobles, generals and ministers, such men are made, not born. A gentleman would rescue a man trapped in a well, but he would not jump in himself. He is not perfect, but he is not stupid either. A blind horse always frightens itself. It is a disgrace for a gentleman's words to be greater than his deeds. A person is born with desires. If these desires are not satisfied, he cannot live. If these desires know no limit, they cannot be satisfied. The superior man acts before he speaks, and afterwards speaks according to his action. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. A good traveller has no fixed plans and is not intent on arriving. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. All warfare is based on deception. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle. A child's life is like a piece of paper on which every person leaves a mark. Learning is a weightless treasure you can always carry easily. One cannot refuse to eat just because there is a chance of being choked. Teachers open the door, you enter by yourself. Govern a family as you would cook a small fish, very gently. With true friends, even water drunk together is sweet enough. You won't help shoots grow by pulling them up higher. He is victorious who knows when and where not to fight. A state that is great carries the seeds of its demise, just as a giant tree singles itself out for the blow of the axe. Weakness brings life, strength brings death. In good times, the wise man works for the state. In bad times, he looks after himself. A family with many mouths needs a wise decision maker. Different locks must be opened with different keys. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. An inch of time is an inch of gold, but you can't buy that inch of time with an inch of gold. Patience is a bitter plant, but its fruit is sweet. Do everything at the right time, and one day will seem like 3. A man who cannot tolerate small misfortunes can never accomplish great things. All things are difficult before they are easy. Be not afraid of growing slowly, be only afraid of standing still. Before preparing to improve the world, first look around your own home 3 times. The more you sweat in practice, the less you bleed in battle. Bad things never walk alone. Facts beat eloquence. As distance tests a horse's strength, time reveals a person's character. Without standards, no boundaries are set. With truth on your side, you can go anywhere. Without truth, you can't take a tiny step. The player is lost, the watcher is lucid. A person leaves a reputation as a bird leaves its song. Great wisdom can seem foolish. A team of horses will struggle to chase down a spoken word. Think 3 times before you act. Punishing those who come before stops those who come after from doing something. Small as it is, the sparrow has all the vital organs. The quick-footed climb first. It's better to be without a book than to believe a book entirely. A bird does not sing because it has an answer, it sings because it has a song. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. To know the road ahead, ask those coming back. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. It is difficult to catch a black cat in a dark room. The first thing to do is start, and the second thing is to continue. Talking doesn't get your rice cooked. The best place to find helping hands is at the end of your arms. Behave to everyone as if you were receiving a great guest. If you have never been fooled, you will never become an expert. What you cannot avoid, welcome. The pen of the tongue should be dipped into the ink of the heart. Charity is not a bone you throw to a dog, but a bone you share with a dog. When you aim at the rat, beware of a vase. To die is to stop living, but to stop living is something entirely different than dying. If at home you receive no visitors, then when abroad you will have no host. Virtue practiced to be seen is not real virtue. Vice which fears to be seen is real vice. Don't listen to what they say. Go see. True character is revealed in moments of extreme anger. He who hides his mistakes plans to make more. Indulgences have more victims than swords. 100 no's are less painful than one insincere yes. After 3 days without reading, talk becomes flavourless. Want a thing long enough and you don't. If you neglect your art for 1 day, it will neglect you for 2. It is not a failure to be down, it's a failure to stay down. Tension is who you think you should be, relaxation is who you are. The more you are afraid of ghosts, the more you see. Don't listen to what they say, go see. 3 things never come back: time, word, and opportunity. Therefore, do not waste time, choose words, and do not miss the opportunity. There are 1,000 lessons in defeat, but only 1 in victory. What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. Man's nature is evil. Goodness is the result of conscious activity. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Knowledge is the treasure, and practice is the key to it. An enemy is a friend who knows too much about you. Tell me and I will forget. Show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will understand. Attack the evil that is within yourself rather than attacking the evil that is in others. Be attentive to your thoughts. They are the beginning of actions. Roads were made for journeys, not destinations. To complain about an unpleasant thing is to double the evil. To laugh at it is to destroy it. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First by reflection, which is noblest, second by imitation, which is easiest, and third by experience, which is the bitterest. People are distressed by their inability to do something. The problem, however, is simply that they don't do it. Never say never, because the days go by so fast and nothing stays the same. Your life is what your thoughts make it. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading, or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. Sometimes we see a lot, but do not notice the main thing. If you lack faith, then existence does not believe in you. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. The unwilling soul sees what's hidden, and the ever-wanting soul sees only what it wants. The man who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. Learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. If you make a mistake and do not correct it, this is called a mistake. A man with outward courage dares to die. A man with inner courage dares to live. If you are alone for a long time, soon you will accept loneliness. You will never know your potential if you are afraid to be alone. Worry not that no one knows you. Seek to be worth knowing. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. Truth uttered before its time is always dangerous. When true virtue is lost, good nature appears. When good nature is lost, justice appears. When justice is lost, decency appears. The rules of decency are only the semblance of truth and the beginning of all disorder. By remaining true to yourself without seeking to compare and compete, you will achieve universal respect. A great man clings to the essential and leaves the insignificant. He does everything in truth, but he will never rely on laws. To recognize your insignificance is empowering. Learn as if you were not reaching your goal and as though you were scared of missing it. A sage who wants to be above people puts himself below them. Wanting to be ahead of them, he becomes behind. The whole being knows without learning, sees without looking, and attains without doing. It is easy to hate, and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. A trail through the mountains, if used, becomes a path in a short time, but if unused, becomes blocked by grass in an equally short time. New beginnings are disguised as painful endings. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Live for the praise of others, and you will become their prisoner. If they talk behind your back, it means you're ahead of them. The disease of men is that they neglect their own fields and go to weed the fields of others. We take greater pains to persuade others that we are happy than endeavoring to think so ourselves. Work on clearing your thoughts. if you do not have bad thoughts, there will be no bad deeds. The man who says he can and the man who says he cannot are both correct. Don't criticize your neighbor's roof for having too much snow when your door is not clean. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. He who flatters a man is his enemy. He who tells him of his faults is his maker. The person attempting to travel two roads at once will get nowhere. A leader leads by example, not by force. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Get rid of the desire to have. The funniest people are the saddest ones. He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby you can be the director of the opponent's fate. There is nothing softer and more flexible than water, but try to resist it. If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things. Great results can be achieved with small forces. The wise man avoids all extremes. Great is the man who has not lost his childlike heart. Ponder and deliberate before you make a move. When people know a lot, it is difficult to manage them. If what one has to say is not better than silence, then one should keep silent. The wheels of justice grind slow, but they grind fine. Man dies from birth. Study the past if you would define the future. Who knows doesn't say, who speaks doesn't know. You can't trust a man who has nothing to lose. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will be blunt. Friends are the siblings God never gave us. Every animal with blood in its veins and horns on its head will fight when it is attacked. The one who knows and pretends not to know is on top. Who without knowledge pretends to be knowledgeable, he is sick. Getting something done is like digging a well. You can dig a well 70 feet deep, but if you don't hit water, it's just an abandoned well. Even a loss can turn into a profit, or profit can turn into a loss. The feeling of right or wrong is the beginning of wisdom. Temperance is the first step of virtue, which is the beginning of moral perfection. The snow goose needs not bathe to make itself white. Neither need you do anything but be yourself. Respect yourself, and others will respect you. What is evil to one at one time becomes good at another time to somebody else. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Forget injuries. Never forget kindness. A man must not be without shame, for the shame of being without shame is shamelessness indeed. Be bent and you will stay straight. Be empty and you will remain complete. Be worn out and you will stay new. Health is the greatest possession. Contentment is the greatest treasure. Confidence is the greatest friend. It is easy to hate and it is difficult to love. This is how the whole scheme of things works. All good things are difficult to achieve, and bad things are very easy to get. Try your best to be to others as you would wish to be treated yourself, and you will find that this is the shortest way to benevolence. Success is as dangerous as failure. Hope is as hollow as fear. People of higher morality do not consider themselves moral. Therefore, they have the highest morality. The one who offends you takes away your negative energy and gives you his positive energy. What is a good man but a bad man's teacher? What is a bad man but a good man's job? You cannot open a book without learning something. A long absence of sex turns a person into a neurotic. If someone wants to offend you greatly, then it is even worse for him. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. Let not the opportunity pass, for it may not return. He who attends to his greater self becomes a great man, and he who attends to his smaller self becomes a small man. Do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? The perfect man employs his mind as a mirror. It grasps nothing, it refuses nothing, it receives but does not keep. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Know yourself, and you will win all battles.